Hi, this is Dr. Robert Sam Lackey, and this is a little follow-up on the presentation I made outside of Moore, Oklahoma after tornadoes. This time we have a short segment called What About Next Time? In this we're going to cover some Tai Chi type maneuvers that would be useful in getting you and the people you're taking with you toward a shelter once the heavy winds and debris starts flying. Okay? Last time we got you out after the fact. This time we're trying to get you safely to a secure area. All right. As we walk along, as you recall from last time, we had this parting the wild horse's mane leverage technique, which, as you notice, uses the leading edge of the arm here, not the vulnerable parts that can be damaged easily with a hinge that drives whatever's falling into you. We turn it over into this safe lever. We're going to curl the fingers in, okay? We're going to bring it over past the level of our shoulder. So in a sense, as we go along, we may not be able to see everything we're approaching, but whatever it hits, it's going to go along here and we're going to be able to guide around it. We do not want to have things running into us. So this is going to be our guide and our shield, okay? The other hand, we can turn in this fashion, using the back of the hand once again, rather than the vulnerable front and wrist, to guard our eyes and neck, okay? Raising the shoulder to cover the carotid artery and other important elements there. Now, as we go forward, there's two other things that we're doing with a safety aspect. One of them is something we covered before, and it was called the follow step, okay? Instead of walking just one after the other like this, okay, and you walk along and something catches your foot, and all of a sudden you have another foot in the air ready to get tripped. In the follow step, you take a step and you drop the one behind it. You take a step and drop the one behind it, okay? By doing this, if something happens to the first step, you can simply pull back out of it because the one you put behind it is under your center of gravity. You can move sideways, you can go over something. It's a far more safe, foolproof way to maneuver through unsafe territory. So, we have the shield, we have the guard, we have the follow step, and finally, in many cases, we're guiding someone else out of the storm, okay? The way that police and other emergency workers have found to do this most safely is to have them grab right onto your belt back here, stay close to you, and they're holding you and they're moving along. They have a free hand here if they need it, okay? But they're secure and they're using your foundation for their stability, which is really much better than having you out like this, your hand back here trying to pull somebody, they trip and fall down, you're trying to hold them up, and that makes you vulnerable to all of the incoming debris, okay? So there we have the guard, and the way to pull people behind you. As in the case that we covered before, what if worse comes to worse? As you remember, we had a situation where the person gets caught and they're just going to go down. Okay? And so what we did was we went out and we dropped and used the dropping to cancel the trajectory of the fall. And this is something you can practice. You go out to a point where you're on the edge and then you drop and come back. And this reflex in that rooting and dropping, strict building action can help save you when the rest of this fails and you find yourself going over. That's going forward. And when you're going backwards, you don't have that same option, okay? But there is a classic Tai Chi maneuver that will deal with that. And that maneuver is one that I had to use when a 60-mile-an-hour wind blew me over backwards and uprooted a 13-inch elm tree in my front yard. And what happened is, I heard the crash, I went outside, I saw the tree uprooted, and then as I turned into the wind and it caught me and sent me over backwards, okay? So in terms of the Tai Chi technique, what I had to do is I turned, I stepped out, went down in this fashion, placing a wall, my shin bone directly under me. I'm not trying to control this with muscle strength or joint strength. I'm putting a wall under the roof, driving it straight down. I went down this far and stopped. I was then able to get up. The elm tree, unfortunately, wasn't. The roots were out of the ground. And then I looked up, and 20 feet down the alleyway was a stand of bamboo. Interestingly, doing the same thing I was. It had bent over, flowed with the flow, and as soon as the wind stopped, we both got up. So the lesson was almost a parable, but that's what happens when you have the force coming. You turn and you put a wall, a stable, vertical, architectural wall under you, and that will keep you from hitting the ground. Anyway, those are several techniques that relate to what happens next time. The one thing I'd like to add to that is as you look for Tai Chi training, and we have this in Oklahoma City, Laura.gamino trains people for the OU Health Science Center and teacher training. And then the teachers go out and have classes all over the place. In closing, let me remind you of this marvelous text, the Harvard Medical School Guide to Tai Chi, 12 Weeks to a Healthy Body, Strong Heart, and Sharp Mind. Okay? Inexpensive. It covers the science, but it's so well written. It's a delight to read. And it guides people through the element of self-care, where they can do many of the exercises on their own, and about the first 5 of the Tai Chi moves that are taught in the Tai Chi Moving for Better Balance Fall Prevention Program. So it's a wonderful way to get started as you look for more information about the state program, which at the moment is being taught by Laura.gamino at the Oklahoma Health Science Center. Okay? Here, on the other hand, is the unfortunate elementary that didn't have the benefit of this knowledge when the 60-mile-an-hour wind tore through Weatherford. Fortunately, I did. Thank you.